Joining us now is Dr. Edward Suri, a professor of theology at the Augusta Institute and also a nationally known speaker. He's here to talk about a great series called Symbolon, and thank you so much for being with us, Doctor.
Thanks for having me.
Maybe if we could get right into the series, maybe some of the catalysts behind putting this all together, and what was it like to put this series together?
It's been one of the most exciting projects I've been blessed to work on in my life. Basically, it started with a number of bishops approaching our school, the Augusta Institute in Denver, and encouraging us to develop something for RCIA. The U.S. Bishops study has shown that 1 out of 3 people who go through RCIA in the United States actually stop practicing their faith in just a few years. And so the bishops were looking for good resources to help people in RCIA, and that's how it started. But it became so much bigger than that. It became a program that is really just for any adult Catholic wanting to understand their faith better, to live it, and to be able to share it with others. So we crafted the 20 beautiful episodes that are just great state-of-the-art video quality. If people have seen the Father Robert Barron series, Catholicism, it's the same kind of video quality. We have a whole team of teachers, some of the top Catholic teachers in the country, people like Curtis Martin, Tim Gray, Jason and Kristalina Everett, Jeanette Bankovic. So a lot of these great presenters all kind of came together to develop this. We filmed on location in Rome, in the Holy Land, in Calcutta, India, and then in our studios in Denver. And it's really a walking through the whole faith. The way I look at it is like this. Many Catholics today have a familiarity with their faith. They might know there's 12 apostles or 10 commandments and 7 sacraments. But many Catholics don't have a high understanding of how it all fits together. We just seem like we're just been random doctrines and practices. What we want to do is develop a program that walks through the entirety of the Catholic faith. So everything you need to know to be a good Catholic. And it's incredible the kind of feedback that we're hearing. Now that the program's out there, we released all 20 episodes just this last year. And within 3 months, we were in 3,000 parishes who are using it for adult faith programs, for men and women's groups, family ministry, catechist formation, and just a lot of individuals just wanting to use it for themselves. Some of the feedback we're getting is just how I'm hearing from a lot of Catholics saying, you know, I wish I heard this when I was younger, or you know, I finally have an understanding of the faith that I didn't get growing up. And that's what I think was our real hope. It's to really enrich people's faith lives by giving the whole big picture. So we cover everything in this, everything you need to know, like from creation, to the Bible, to Jesus, to the church, to the sacraments, to the last judgment, heaven, hell, purgatory. We cover the moral issues. We get into all the sensitive issues and questions that people have, whether it's about sexuality, whether it's about marriage, serving the poor, Catholic social teaching, you name it, it's all right here.
Take us through a little bit of the program itself. If someone was to have it at the parish, for instance, they would watch some of the videos, go over, discuss some of the things that happened.
Yeah, the program. So basically, you know, we have DVD sets, and so everybody can just buy a DVD set. And like I said, many families have Symbolon Sunday. I've had many parents tell me this. They watch it as a family together, and they're about 35 minutes long, and so you can just watch every episode just on your own. You don't need to do it in a small group. You can just watch it by yourself if you want. But we've developed beautiful leaders' guides to really make it easy for a catechist to lead these studies, or catechists to equip their own volunteers at the parish. So if there's an adult in the parish that says, I'd love to share the faith with others, but I don't have a degree, I don't feel comfortable, we make it really easy. These leaders' guides are like as easy as add water and stir. Step 1, here's an opening prayer. Step 2. And so what they would do is they'd gather and they would pray, and they can watch the video if they do it in a small group, and then there's a break point, and they can have a small group discussion about the first part, then watch them a little bit more and have some more time for prayer and reflection on it. So, again, it can be used in a small group setting for adult faith kind of environment, or it could just be used individually, people just watching the videos.
Talk about this. You were mentioning too about you know, people, some the Catholic faith knowing bits and pieces, and how important is something like this too, and sort of how do you get people to take this step to you know, enjoy something like this and really learn from it and to get involved in it?
Yeah, I would say a couple things. First of all, many Catholics, I think, have I like to say, a Humpty Dumpty understanding of their faith. So they have all these little scattered pieces, and they might go to church on Sunday, but they don't really understand how it fits together and what difference it makes for their daily lives. And so what we do in the videos is we try to really draw people in, and I think it's going to be very entertaining, very engaging. It's constantly moving. So you go from one setting, sometimes in Rome, then you're watching an interview with somebody. They're watching someone teaching in the classroom, so it's constantly moving. So it keeps people's attention, but it's people speaking from their heart, and it's not just head knowledge. It's really touching, what difference does this make for my marriage, or for my raising of my children, or for just me to be a better person in my community, or a better Christian, a better son of God. So it's very, very practical. Some of the things we do is we also really try to engage culturally relevant issues throughout. So, for example, we have a whole episode that covers the theology of the church. And we as Catholics have heard the church is one, holy, Catholic, and apostolic. And we say that in the creed, and we cover that here. But we know that most people today have deeper questions. Why do I need a church? Can't I just be spiritual? Can't I just follow my own path to God? Why do I need a church? And we'll dare to ask that question. Or we have a section on morality. And a lot of people are wondering, well, do I really need morality? I mean, shouldn't I just be tolerant? And, we live in a relativistic culture that says you can have your truth, I can have my truth, but there's no the truth over all of us. And rather than just go through, here's what the church teaches, here's all the rules, so to speak, we step back and say, is there even truth? Is there a plan for our lives, a plan for our happiness? And then we get into the church's teaching and show how it fits into that larger plan. So we're constantly really engaging the kind of questions that modern men and women are asking, and doing it in a very winsome, joyful way.
That's great. Well, we're happy to have this series on Catholic TV too. Before we go, we're running out of time a little bit, but St. Augustine Institute, this is where it all sort of developed. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, the Augusta Institute in Denver, Colorado, you can look at that online at augustainstitute.org. Basically, we have two lungs of the Augusta Institute. On one side of our lungs, so to speak, is the graduate school. So we have people that come and do a master's degree with us. We have people that study all around the world in our distance education program. We're the third largest Catholic graduate school in the country, training people for ecclesial ministry. So that's very exciting. The part we're talking about here is the other lung, and that's our programs for adults, youth ministry, for parishes, RCIA, adult faith. So that's the other piece that we have. And so really what we want to do is really serve the church, and whether it's directly forming people who are going to be leaders in the new evangelization, or giving them great tools and resources that they can take and apply in their own daily lives. And so I'll just mention that the Symbolon series, maybe it's worth noting what the word Symbolon means. I think that could be fascinating for the viewers here. The word Symbolon is an ancient Greek word that was used in the early church to describe the creed. And a symbolon in Greek, it described a token that would be divided in half, and then when brought back together, it would confirm a relationship. So let's say you were a bank and I was going to leave a deposit, $1,000 with you. We take a clay seal, we break it in half. You take one half, I take the other. And then I come back a year later and say, can I get my deposit back? You're going to say, well, how do I know it's really you? I show my identity by giving you the other half, and then it confirms our relationship. And that's the word the early Christians used to describe the creed. Because if you're living in the 300s, 400s AD, and you're wondering, well, how do I know what I believe today really matches up with what Jesus revealed and what God's plan really is? How do I know that? Well, you affirm and live by the tenets of the creed. And so in our day and age, what we want to do is we realize that there are a lot of people that are Christians and they're Catholic and they're good people, but they're maybe not sure, is this really what Jesus taught? Is this really what I'm supposed to believe? How do we know that? We want to bring people back into that same communion of apostolic faith. So we called this program Symbolon, the Catholic Faith Explained, to help them to be able to do that.
Well, we thank you so much for being with us and sharing with us, and we're excited to have this on Catholic TV. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.